We can find out more now. I'm joined here in the studio by Catalina Marchant de Abreu, who's a presenter here on Arabiya English. Catalina, welcome to the program. You've interviewed Machado, and we're going to talk about that a bit more in just a moment. But first of all, the ceremony is going to be held tomorrow. Do we know if Machado herself will be there in Oslo to accept the award?
Well, Tom, there's been lots of speculation over whether María Corina Machado will be able to accept her award in person in tomorrow's prize ceremony taking place in Oslo. Sources within Machado's team confirmed to me just yesterday that she will be traveling to Norway to receive her Peace Prize, the first ever for Venezuela. And this is expected to be Machado's first public appearance in over 11 months. Now let's remind our viewers that this is a significant development as she has been living in hiding in her country since August 2024. And the Venezuelan government has said that Machado will be considered a political fugitive if she leaves the country. Hence, given the sense of security of this entire situation, we can't really disclose any more details of how she will arrive or how she plans to return to her country once the ceremony concludes, a trip that nonetheless could mean exile for the opposition leader.
Okay, so you've been in touch with Machado's team. You've also been in touch with Machado herself because you interviewed her along with Patrick Wajsman, who is the director of the French quarterly magazine Politique Internationale. You did an in-depth interview that's being published in France today. Just talk us through some of the key points that you discussed with her.
Well, Tom, before diving into the facts, we actually discussed Machado's Freedom Manifesto, published on November 18th and written by her, outlining Machado's, let's say, commandments for what a future democratic Venezuela would look like, or will look like. So where she also highlights the most important human rule of law, which is freedom and dignity as the guiding principle. The opposition leader also discusses 12 different points, including the future of regenerating the country's economy, freedom of speech, freedom of the right to vote, the right to assemble, to safety, crimes against humanity, reinstalling education in the country, amongst others, as the final goal, she says, is to return to the international community of democracies and, of course, see whether Venezuela can move beyond dictatorship. If you or our viewers also wish, you can read the entire Freedom Manifesto written by Machado, posted on our website at alarabiya.net.
Okay, so tell us what would be the stages, the political stages of a democratic transition, such as the one that Machado has been calling for.
Well, María Corina Machado says that the first stages of this transition will be the fall of the current regime, Maduro, under a combined effect of internal and international pressure, a moment that the opposition hopes will be the result of negotiation. However, she says the regime has never respected any type of agreement, such agreement, so no hope for that for now. The next 100 days will be decisive, she says. The democratic forces of Venezuela need to reestablish the most basic public policies such as security, infrastructure, health, education, rapidly win international recognition for the new regime and put in place this international cooperation, a plan that the opposition has been actually planning for years. The plans and the teams are ready for this transition into democracy for Venezuela.
Okay, Catalina, that brings us to another question I wanted to ask you. Once in power, did you get a sense of what sort of things Machado might do? Did she give you any ideas about what her top priorities would be?
She did. Machado says that together with President-elect Edmundo González, their first orders will be to immediately free all political prisoners, to restore freedom of expression, association, and demonstration. At the same time, she says their priority in power will actually be the country's finances, hence to clean up public finances, restructure debt, and integrate Venezuela into the international financial system, which means open up the economy to foreign investment, transforming Venezuela into what is today a hub, she says, of organized crime, into the continent's energy and technological powerhouse.
Okay, and obviously Venezuela's been in the headlines quite a bit, hasn't it, in the last few days. And when it comes to the international community, what countries did Machado say would be sort of the privileged allies of this future democratic Venezuela?
That's right. Venezuela's main priority is actually a comeback to the international community after so many years of authoritarianism and isolation since Maduro took office in 2013, who she says has currently no more than 10% of the support of the Venezuelan population. In this regard, Machado mentions the support of countries of Latin America, the United States, Canada, the Caribbean, and the European Union. Machado also says that Israel will be a key partner in their transition to democracy, expecting also to maintain excellent relations with major Asian and Middle Eastern powers.
Okay, and just lastly, I mean, in your interview with Machado, you got pretty personal in your discussion. Did she give you a sense of what sort of some of the hardships had been, particularly some painful moments she might have experienced in her political journey? And I also wonder how she reacted when she found out she was this year's Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Exactly, Tom. In this interview, we asked Machado which was the most difficult or painful moment for her, where she said where she almost gave up. Of course, she mentions when the Maduro regime illegally disqualified her from the 2024 presidential election, even though she had won 93% of the vote. Fast forward now, she is the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize winner, so her sacrifice didn't go unnoticed by the international community. Her initial reactions, she says, was of total surprise, and she says she still can't believe it. It's hard to believe. A prize with which she hopes to win greater support for the country's space in the democratic world that Venezuelans were once a part of.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for talking us through all of that. Catalina Marchant de Abreu from Arabiya's English service, thank you very much indeed to you. And just for our viewers, a press conference that was supposed to happen today with the Nobel Peace Prize laureate, María Corina Machado, has been postponed. It may take place later on. That's according to the Nobel Institute. The press conference, traditionally held by the Nobel laureate on the eve of the ceremony, is expected to be for the 58-year-old's first public appearance in 11 months. She appeared in public at a demonstration in Caracas on the 9th of January, protesting against the inauguration of President Nicolás Maduro for his third term. Do stay tuned. We'll bring you more on that story.